President Emmanuel Macron speaking there. Well, for more analysis of that presidential address, I'm joined by our international affairs editor, Armand Georgian. Armand, just talk us through the main point of the French president's address today.
Well, first, it's I think important to emphasise this is an interview. It's different from what he normally does, which is talk directly to the camera. So it allowed for a more detailed discussion, more sort of bouncing off the journalists, some more conversation. So really an interview here going on. I mean, I suppose in terms of the COVID crisis, the main announcement was that masks will be made obligatory in enclosed public spaces. So in reality, that means shops, I suppose. That's the one area that they're missing at the moment. They're already obligatory, of course, in train stations and on public transport. So it's extending the use of masks from the beginning of August. There were a few, I mean, there was no major policy announcement, I don't think, Tom, for, the next 22 months of his presidency, but there were a few details on the economic side of things. So a couple of things that were confirmed, a 2-year break on payroll taxes for employers who hire young people, so an attempt to sort of boost youth employment by cutting social charges for companies. Also, he talked about this 100 billion euros package to subsidize wages and training and so-called insertion contracts, again for young people, in anticipation of those nearly 1 million more job seekers that we're expecting by spring of next year.
Okay, so the coronavirus pandemic and the crisis associated with it looming very large over today's commemorations and over that interview. What sort of a tone did the president strike?
Well, it was very much, what you'd expect. It was, although it was not as top-down in the format, but it was still top-down in the tone. And this is, a president saying, I'm the leader, I'm the president of the republic. This is what I'm going to do for the next 22 months. He was asked by the journalist, does he understand that people don't like him? A lot of people actually detest him. And he said, well, yeah, I do understand it. I haven't managed to bring French people together. I haven't reconciled French people with each other. So that was a kind of a mea culpa in a way. But then the way he explained it was to say, well, there have been some phrases that maybe have been misspoken or taken out of context. So it wasn't really a total, I suppose, kind of taking on board all the reasons why a lot of French people simply haven't warmed to him. But he's going to basically have to continue along the same line. So he's got this new government, but as I said, Tom, the basic policies remain unchanged for the rest of his term.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for that. Our international affairs editor, Armand Georgian, thank you so much. Well, as we've been saying,